Hi, welcome to CTK's first Zoom Advent workshop. I'm happy you could join me for this. Before we even get started, I need to be sure that your Oasis ring is wet. If you haven't soaked it for 5 or 10 minutes, pause the video and get your ring nice and wet so that your greens will stay fresh. When it's wet, it's significantly heavier. As long as you've got your ring all wet, let's get started. The first thing that I'd like to have you do is look at your ring and see. I don't know that it's going to show too much on the video, but if you look at your ring carefully, you can see that it's made of 2 semicircles. That's what you want to avoid for sinking your candles. So the first thing we're going to do is mark where your candles go, and that's so that you can avoid that and not put pins right where you want your candles to be. And my suggestion is don't put your candles on these seams here on the where your semicircles come together. So I'm going to just leave a slight indentation here at 12, 6, whichever way you want to orient that, and 3 and 9. And that lets me know where I'm going to want my candles, and I'm going to put my candles in after I've done the greens. So when that's done, I'm ready to get started. Your kit has the rings and the greening pins, and a little instruction note too. To get started, I usually start with the inside of the ring, and I'm going to sink the stem, kind of strip the ends of the greens off the end, and sink it kind of into the bottom of the ring and place it like that. If it looks like it's kind of going to need a pin somewhere in the middle, go ahead and pin that in, and trying to be careful not to put it where my candle is, and go on to the next one. I'm going to lift up, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to lift up this loose end here, and I'm going to put the stem of my next one kind of underneath that, and I'm always working in the same direction. I don't think that one really needs a pin. I think that's going to stay pretty stable. That's a nice bushy one. I think I'll take one a little smaller for my next one. I'm going to pull just a little bit of the green off and put it under the loose part of that last one. Now, I'm not going to do my whole ring. I'm going to just do about 1/4 of it for the video here, because you don't need to watch me do the same thing over and over again. Once you get started, you'll get the hang of it. So I'm going to move to the top now. And like I said, I want to be sure that I'm not going to conflict my candles, which in the end, I'm going to sink my candles down maybe 3/4 of an inch. They'll be nice and stable doing it that way. So I'm going to kind of put that maybe a little more of an angle and put that right near the edge and pin that down, and find another one, put it right next to it, get that in there nice and tight. This one is going to need a pin. I've got a little guy waving right there, and pin that down. And I've come to my next indentation for a candle. Can you see that there? So I'm going to leave this right here because that's going to be a nice cover for the candle. Maybe later I'll come back and pin it down just a little bit, but I'm going to carry on this side now and then go back and find this hole where the candle mark is, and then sink my candle and then finish around the candle. All right, I said I'm not going to go much farther than a quarter, so now I'm going to do, whoops, got to be able to see. I'm going to come around and finish the outside of this part, just doing the same thing. Find a frond that looks good, a sprig, and I'm going to start at the bottom again and work my way up. Let's see, over this way. And pin, whoops, with one pin, not two. The pins are longer than the ring is wide, so be careful that you don't pin your thumb to the ring. That would be uncomfortable. That needs to get pinned a little bit better. I'm pinning at an angle kind of back, whoops, missed, backwards in the opposite direction of the way my sprigs are going. Okay, I'm going to put another one here and pin that down. Where's my candle hole? Up here. Okay, it's still safe. And another one. This one's a little bare on the end. I don't need that thin part there, so I'm going to get rid of that and pop these off. That's a better size. And another one here. Now I'm at the little impression where my candle will go. So I want to be careful not to sink a pin right here, but I can put my sprig here at an angle, I hope. I'll find out when I put my candle in. And pin that down. And you can see how it's developing. I'm working always in the same direction so that your finished product has just a swirl of greens around it like that. I'll put maybe another one. Oh, I'm going to put, just to show you, I'm going to put my candle in. So after you've gotten this far all the way around, then you can sink your candle. The tricky part is getting your candle standing up straight, because it will, of course, look straight when you're looking straight at it. But when you stand behind it or to the right or the left, it might not be as straight as you thought. So good luck with that. I have no advice for that. I'm going to put this little one in here now and kind of build up some greens to hide. Hopefully I can tip this so you can see. Better yet, let me see if you can, you hold it, Steve. So you can see how I've got this bare spot right here, and that's what I'm gonna try and fill in with these smaller sprigs. So I'm gonna poke these in and around my candle. Put that back now so people can see. Thanks. Stick that right. Ooh, that's pretty flimsy. Hopefully I can get that in. and cover up the base of my candle so my greens go all the way around. One with just a little bit more muscle to it. And this one needs a little encouragement to stay down. Another pin. And this one is losing its pin, but I can move that out. Okay, so I hope you can see I've taken it about a third to a halfway around, and when you're finished with it and you're satisfied that all of your oasis is covered and it looks the way you want it to look, if you want, you might add some additional decorations to it. I have some tiny pine cones. There may be a bag with some pine cones, little pine cones that you could take, that Bunny Dubell said that she would bring back from the mountains. Pastor Tia gave a little history of the Advent wreath with some suggestions on decorations that you could put on it. But it is yours to enjoy for the Advent season. Do remember that it is fire, and your greens will dry out. Even with the wet oasis, they will get drier. I usually will save a candle from last year to put in the spot where my first candle has burned down to the point where I'm afraid that it becomes a fire hazard. I pull out the short one and I put in one of last year's. If you don't have last year's, you might want to try and buy another one, or just watch it carefully, because you can do that. If you've got it where you can see it while it's burning, ours is on our kitchen table, so it's never left untended. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for joining me.